have some real life career exploration, seeing CNC machines running, seeing those students making it specifically this metal piece that rotates in the front. That spins at a high RPM, and it really has to be precise. It has to be CNC machined. So they were just absolutely incredible and instrumental in helping us. They are looking forward to next year. They can't wait to do the project again with us. So we created a great partnership there with ICTC. And the students, I mean, we can talk all day about the different things that went into this, but really it came down to the students. The students really took it to heart. They were committed. They were dedicated all year long. They did this during their flex period during the day, and at the end, it was an absolute success. I can say without hesitation that the program, with your support, it was an absolute success from every aspect that you look at it, and we are excited to continue it into next year. We're hoping next year it's going to be bigger and better than it was this year.
So this, is that a safety strap on the weapon there?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
In addition to pins that prevent it from spinning.
Yes, any sharp edges have to be guarded, and it has to have a restraint to prevent that from spinning until it's put in.
Until you're ready to go to combat.
Till we're ready.
And they made every single piece of that. They had the engineering drawings, the wiring schematics, everything.
And so this particular robot, which Jude helped design and manufacture, this one took first place in the arena. So this robot defeated all of the other robots in battle. And this robot also won King of the Arena, also won King of the Ring, in which we put all the robots in the arena together at one time. And this one came out the victor. The other robot that we brought, it was the robot that actually won the Grand Champion Award. Our Grand Champion takes into account the battles in the arena that they win, and also their documentation. These students didn't only just design and build.
Yeah, it's not just the fun of combat.
Build that, they have to assemble a portfolio that documents their learning. It documents their safety procedures, their drawings, their drive system details, electrical schematics. It highlights the entire process, all their work all year. And so they got a score for that. They got a score for their arena battles. And then this team, which was called Magnum, was our grand champion.
I have to say that I saw the battles, and first off, that was awesome, and that you were able to put it back together after the whole thing was amazing. And went home and showed my kids and everything, and they're mad at you because they graduated and they can't do this now. But now we're watching it on YouTube as a regular subscription for different BattleBot shows. I think that's wonderful.
We even put little links so that you don't have to watch the entire.
Yeah, I saw that.
If you go down to the comments section, you can jump to specific battles and just watch the battle. You don't have to.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that the gouging of the wood, the electricity flying, the parts going, the destruction part was phenomenal. The fact that you were able to put that together, even more so. But it was a very entertainment and very good learning experience.
You're absolutely right, because after some of the battles, these things are tore up and they're not working. And so the students go back. The students go back and they make all the necessary repairs. They fix everything up to get it ready for the next battle again. And that was them. I mean, that was all them. So that's where you can really see the benefit of everything that they've learned throughout the year, the teamwork, the sportsmanship of working together and getting it ready for the next battle. So I truly want to thank the board, everybody that helped make this a reality. Again, it's an absolute success. I view it as an absolute success. All of us that were involved, I think, views it as an absolute success. So we're looking forward to next year.
The question I have to the young gentleman is, so when you get to the senior high school, what are you going to do for fun up there? Or maybe we should ask our principal.
I'll probably join ICTC and start manufacturing things.
That's
what
great.
I've been doing.
Good job, good job.
Well, the best part for me, well, two things. Number one, Eva Nealon, who sang our national anthem in the beginning,
Unbelievable.
exceptionally well. I mean, great job. But-
She's in what grade?
Eighth.
Eighth
And she
grade.
was,
Acapella, it's not a note miss. It was phenomenal.
and she is one of our combat robotics kids.
Yeah.
But 2 matches in, when they won, and she is as even keel as it gets. Doesn't get excited, doesn't say much. Maybe said, other than me speaking directly to her, 2 words to me all year. After the second victory, I'm congratulating the kids, and she says, Mr. Harrington, we were 4 weeks behind everybody else, and now we're going to the finals. They gave me this big high five, and it was the greatest moment for me of the entire thing. The kids just had a wonderful experience. And the other thing is we've been contacted by about 3 other schools so far about them joining our league for next year. So hopefully it just grows larger and larger, and our grand champion trophy continues to stay here, but we have more people fighting for it.
Hold it up so everybody can see it.
You had Homer here
Mhm.
as an outside school. Was there any others? It was just Homer?
Homer Center, yes.
Yeah, and so this thing's gonna blossom.
Okay,
Yes.
I got one question.
Can you make it a varsity sport?
Well, actually, that was one of my questions because I do believe that the winning team had the most females on that team out of all the different teams.
We had a
right?
great cross-sectional representation
Yes.
of our students.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying, my children and I tend to cheer a little bit one-sidedly sometimes. I'm not saying it's true or not, but that was one of the things that really got them happy, was to see that one of the teams that had the predominant, had a more different ratio, was the winner, and they were very happy about that. So
We encourage whoever would like to try this
I want to do it.
to jump mono. But you have to know that it's a year-long commitment.
That's all right. I got a 3D printer. I've got no electronics usage at all, or computer skills. It may be 2 years. So
Would you hold up that trophy one more time? Is that possible?
It's pretty heavy.
Well, we kind of ran out of time at the end of the year, but there will be a nameplate for each grand champion that's put on here, and it will travel from school to school for the year. And they'll bring it back at the end, and so it'll have all the different years,
And
well past my time.
And the machining program at ICTC manufactured the large nut that went on top of it. We manufactured the bottom and they manufactured the top, so it turned out excellent.
That's great. You got a relationship with them and opening up kids to
Yeah,
attend the
Yeah, it was
ICTC.
great seeing, 6th, 7th, 8th graders over there checking out all the high-tech CNC machines, manufacturing, getting their foot in the door on a
And seeing their
career
designs
path,
come to life. It was cool.
Have you made any modifications to your arena? So that next year the floor doesn't literally turn into salt?
Well, the floor's okay. Now now it has character.
It
Well,
was
let's-
so beautiful, and after about 3,000.
You're right.
The 3/4 plywood is manageable, and if we put even 10 gauge steel, 4 feet by 8 foot sheets, that'd be pretty unwieldy. So
Yeah, true.
we'll just have to flip it over and replace it periodically, but it looks good with scars. Chicks make scars.
Yeah.
there's also wood putty. I'm just saying that might work.
It won't last.
I know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, outstanding work by those guys and gals. All right, I think we're ready for approval of the minutes. We have a motion for minutes and agenda. We've seconded. Boy, you guys are even ahead of me tonight. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Down to board reports. Indiana County Technology Center. We've not had a meeting with them since our last meeting. Tammy, you're up with there.
Nothing new to report.
And outreach.
We're meeting next week, briefly, to go over a few things and see what we could do to reach out more.
Very, very good, very good. Tom, it looks like you're up.
Okay, Mike, do we have a meeting? Academic?
We did, sir.
Can you give me the notes?
Just
You got 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'll do a quick one. Tonight, you're going to vote on some of the items that we discussed at our last academic committee meeting, which includes the social studies revision curriculum and some other items listed on the agenda. But the social studies was the big item. You'll also see some additional agreements with regards to linked data management, Special Olympics with Mr. Zohorchek. Present about the ISD pathways to success, about EITs and EITC funds to pay for dual enrollment, and the free Holocaust Museum trip that the secondary level is working on, figuring out who should go there, but we've received a free trip to the Holocaust Museum next year.
Okay, thank you, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I move that we do 5-2 through 5-12. Consent.
second.
Anybody like anything removed?
okay, questions, comments, or discussions on 5-2 through 5-12?
Where's 512?
Tom said, I guess it's 5-11.
If it's okay, I'd like to give Mr. Bandy the floor to talk about Ms. Witt and Ms. Nicewanger and say some few words about them and their tenure status.
Okay, thank you. I've never had the opportunity to be a part of granting tenure, and so this is very exciting for me and for the ladies as well. These are two of our second grade teachers at Ben Franklin Elementary School. Thank you. They were hired the same year, and they have done an absolutely tremendous job at our school. I cannot say enough. I'll start with Miss Witt. One of my favorite things about Miss Witt is that she is at her door every morning greeting students, and children have an opportunity to get a handshake, a fist bump, a high five, or a hug. And midway through the year, I would say about 99% of the children are coming in for a hug because she has just been such a wonderful, again, asset to our school. She does just everything that I talk with her about, she then goes and tries and implements. She collaborates with her teammates. And again, we're just very, very lucky to have her. When we first interviewed her, she was in Virginia. Yes. And it was really neat because we were doing, this was before the pandemic, so it was one of our first virtual interviews. And she was able to kind of spin the camera around and show us what her classroom looked like. And I knew immediately, just by the engaging things that were going on in her room, that this is going to be a great hire. And sure enough, she has been. So thank you so much for everything that you have done for our students at Ben Franklin. Miss Nicewanger, she was also one of our reading interns. She was at East Pike, and one of the best things is that I got to steal her from Mr. Springer. I hope he's listening tonight. But that was probably one of the best moments that I've had thus far. But again, Miss Nicewanger, she has a smile on her face 24/7. At her interview, she was very nervous. We actually talked about that today. She was very nervous. She had the opportunity to have a live a live lesson with children. So I got to see her engage with children. Honest to goodness, she opens her mouth, she starts singing. She has the voice of an angel. It's like Snow White. There are animals coming to the windows. Like, she was amazing and had children just, completely engaged. So again, I knew that she was going to be an amazing fit for Ben Franklin. She goes above and beyond by being there after school. If you've ever seen any of the decorations at Ben Franklin, the balloon arches, the posters, the signs, she is a part of that every time. Ben Franklin Outdoor Learning Space, she was there staining. It was the first day of summer vacation, she was there. And I'm lucky enough right now to have her as my intern. She is also going back to school, and she is going to be getting an administrative degree. and a PhD as well. So she is a real go-getter, and I could not be more happy and more proud of these girls. So thank you so much for giving me an opportunity for sharing what an amazing job these ladies are doing for our district.
Thank you, Mr. Van.
Thank you.
I would like to ask, Ms. Witt, if Witt is spelled with 3 T's or not, because I'm confused. It's 2 T's.
And they're only going to be Miss Nice longer and Miss Witt for a little bit longer because both are getting married within the year.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations.
I need to abstain from 5-4.
Okay. Mike, is there anything else on these that you'd like to comment on?
No, SAP agreement, pretty standard operating business. We work with them, as you know, under Aaron and the rest of the team's leadership. We now brought SAP programming down to the elementary levels. So we support that agreement with Adelphi. That's our all ed placement. We support that as well moving forward. Want to recognize Bill Duty and the great work him and his team did on social studies curriculum revision. And I think everything else we addressed there. So I think if you feel comfortable, consent agenda.
I'd like to comment on 5-7 and the amazing work that social studies has done from K through 12. The coordination of all those classes and the continuity of education in social studies, civics, history. I was blown away. It really came together. I'm glad we held their feet in the fire for the last 5 years, but it looks like a great program. I'm anxious to see the results. Also on 5-9, I'd like to point out that YMCA is also doing some Special Olympic stuff in the community that interfaces with this and interfaces with our the beginning of a high school level varsity sport for Special Olympics, which is just phenomenal. I'm anxious to get that started.
Agree.
Anything else? A good one?
No, I think you can take it set.
Okay, all in favor?
Anybody else have any questions, comments, or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion's carried. Policy and personnel, Cindy, you're up.
Okay, we had a meeting this evening before the long executive session. It was a very short meeting, but
Efficient.
Yes, 8 minutes. We talked about the things that we're going to be approving tonight on the agenda, resignation of a teacher, the anticipated vacancies for 2 possible positions, and then we're going to be doing a lot of hiring and some policy updates. So getting right to it. I think I'm just going to do all of them because most of them have names associated with them, so we can do that. Or do you want me to just
Nope,
skip and the
your
president
consent
will give them the
agenda-
names?
Consent agenda is fine,
Okay.
and then you can read the names.
Okay, so we'll do all consent, and then if anybody has any comments, we can talk
Correct.
about them. So I move we do 6.2, 6.3, 6.4, 6.5, 6.6, 6.7, and 6.8 as consent items.
Okay, moved in second. Questions, comments, or discussion? Cinda, for the purpose of the public, do you want to go ahead and on 6.5, read those names?
Yeah, we can do that. Do you want me to do the resignation of 6.3 also?
No, that's included in the consent.
Oh, it's
I
already
just
there,
want
so, okay.
to,
6 point,
her name's listed, so I think we just need to be sure to list the other names.
6.5 is a big section of employment of new personnel. We will be hiring a certified school nurse, and that person is Heather Vavrick. And then we've got some that we're changing here. And then we're hiring a secondary family and consumer science teacher. That will be Jacqueline Cupp. And the next one is Casey Hoffman will be hired as a secondary social studies teacher. Cassidy Black will be employed as a secondary ELA teacher. Nathaniel Wharton will be employed as a secondary earth and space science teacher. And Rachel Horrell will be employed as a secondary health and phys ed teacher. On the employment of support staff, we've got, and I did not check to see the pronunciation of this name.
She goes by MJ Farouk.
Okay. Ms. MJ Farouk, Emily Hawk, Jennifer Klein, and Tina Busavicki are going to be hired as paraeducators. 6.7 is a motion that's going to allow us to put the athletic director position into an Acts 93 agreement. That's just contract stuff. And then the employment of the athletic director, the board employs Dan Roan as the athletic director effective July 1st.
Okay, and to be clear, we're taking no action on the behavioral, mental health or the art teacher at this time.
Correct.
Okay. Questions, comments, discussion from the board? Hearing none.
Walter, I would-
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Jim.
Just for the athletic director position, there were multiple qualified candidates. My vote tonight will not reflect any of the qualifications of the people that were chosen.
Very good. One of the things that,
Yeah, to vote,
I understand.
we need to pull that motion out then.
Can we?
Yeah, you just have to ask to move.
Okay, yes, I would like that one pulled out then.
okay,
So
that's
6.8, we vote on separate.
okay. Just to add to that, Jim, I think in several of these positions, it was a difficult choice, not just the athletic director. We had a number of highly qualified people apply, and Indiana is blessed to be able to attract that kind of talent. Any other questions, comments on 6.2 through 6.7? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, those motions carry. Okay,
6.8, that the board employs Dan Roan as athletic director effective July 1st, 2022, at an annual salary of $65,000 to be prorated for the number of days worked in the 2022-2023 school year.
Second.
moved in second. Questions, comments, or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Okay, motion carries. Terry, we're down to buildings and grounds.
Sure. Nothing on the committee meeting report. 7.2, update on Eisenhower Elementary renovation. Things are continuing to move along in the design phase and process. We previously approved a contract for some additional surveying there at the site for the stormwater application that's being developed, and that survey was to be completed this week. We recently, within the past couple of weeks, had a meeting with Buchard Horn, but they also hired a specialized kitchen consultant. They have provided us some options for a new kitchen layout, and we have a meeting set up for this week to go over those with the Buchard Horn, the administration team, and the consultant. We also, last week, had a meeting, our first initial kickoff meeting discussing safety and security of the renovated school. And then we also have a meeting this week to talk about the details of the geothermal system for the HVAC system.
Good. And then at your committee meeting, we're going to get an update from Buchard Horn as to all the things that they're working on, correct?
Yeah,
Very good.
yeah, it's a pretty robust agenda for that meeting, so there's some things to talk about. Maybe 8.5. Yeah. Plus. Yeah, the last thing, 7.2A, is a geotechnical consultant, that the proposal from Buchard Horn for geotechnical engineering work at Eisenhower Elementary work be approved as presented.
Second.
and talking with Bucart Horn, when they put their original contract together for the renovation of Eisenhower, they plug in different dollar amounts for different phases of the design. And as the design progresses and things change, that could impact the money that they had plugged in there. So they're asking for a little bit more money because of the layout of the building is more defined now. They are going to have some additional core borings to take and some other geotechnical work.
Very good. Okay, any other questions, comments, or discussion on 7.2A? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Julia, looks like you're up.
Yeah, we have a robust agenda tonight too. We did have a meeting, our last meeting was what date, Jared, I forget.
May
May
23rd.
23rd, yeah, and we went over the budget in detail. Tonight, I would like to take as consent items 8.2, 8.6, and 8.7. I think they're right.
Second.
Okay, moved and second on 8, 2, 6, and 7. Questions, comments on those items?
Madam Vice President, you need to take the budget before you take 8.7.
I'm sorry, say that again.
You need to take the budget before you take 8.7.
All right, then
You
we
need to set the tax rate before
Oh, that's
8.7
true.
is taken.
Okay, so it's 8.2 and 8.6 then that we're voting on. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, next items, Jewel.
This is very nice. I'm pleased to move that the board approves the donation from Tom Donaldson of an acoustic guitar and amplifier to be used at the senior high school.
Second.
Moved in second. Questions, comments, discussion on that? Again, my thanks to Mr. Donaldson, and again, the generosity of our community. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
8.4 athletic funding. Again, I'm pleased to move that based on the recommendation of the Audit and Finance Committee, the board approves the funding levels for the following sports for the 22-23 school year. Hockey, $10,000, rugby, $5,000, boys lacrosse, $15,000, and girls lacrosse, $15,000.
Second.
Moved in second on athletic funding. Questions, comments, or discussion?
Yeah, we're hoping that the committee sort of did decide that based on our discussions next year, we'd like to move within the next several years to full funding for lacrosse.
Okay. Other questions, comments, or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, adoption of the budget. Submitted for the board's consideration is the following motion to adopt the 2022-2023 general fund budget. Resolved that the budget of the Indiana Area School District hereby is finally adopted as the annual budget of the said school district for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2022 and ending June 30th, and the total amount of $61,368,925.
Second.
Moved in second, adopting the budget. Questions, comments, or discussion on the budget?
I'm gonna just, I guess, say that, we're gonna have to really continue to be fiscally responsible, and when I say continue, we have been. I think we talked in previous Audit and Finance Committee meetings that, there's some things that are coming up, and we're just gonna have to keep that in mind for next year's budget. The ESSER's funding's going away, some different things, so.
Okay, Carrie. Anybody else? All those in favor of 6.5, say aye. 8.5, sorry, 8.5. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Now we can do 8.7.
Well, we have to go through A, B, and C. Right?
This could have been all been included in the kind
Oh,
of,
well then,
part of
okay,
the
so did you call for the vote? Yeah, because I wanted.
Yeah, I did, but did you want to comment?
Well, I just wanted to point out, if you take a bill at about $1.2 million for the public that's listening, so you can compute, you can do the math, but this represents a 0% tax increase for this coming fiscal year. And we're very pleased we can do that. As Terry said, we have to continue to be careful stewards, be realistic. But we all have faith in the district, and we think Mike's done a good job with your team. Jared, you have as well. I know you work very hard at this. And so we're moving forward with confidence.
Okay,
Now I can go to 8.6 tax bill deadlines at the following.
8.7.
Did I?
You did 8.6 already.
I did?
That's what consent said.
Okay. Okay, I took my dinner too late. Homestead farmstead resolution is 8.7, right? Did I get that?
That's what it said.
That the Indiana Area School District's homestead and farmstead exclusion resolution be approved as submitted.
Moved in second. Questions, comments, or discussion on that?
the only thing I want to say for the public is that this represents almost, for everybody enrolled in the homestead farmstead program, almost a $50 increase in the credit on this year's tax bill because of almost a $300,000 increase in Indiana School District's allocation from the state, so.
Okay. That's good news.
That's good news.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, capital reserve budget.
Capital reserve budget is 8.8. That the 2022-2023 capital reserve budget be approved as presented.
Second.
Moved in second.
Jared, could you say a little bit about the, where we are with that, so we get a general idea of where we are, especially from Mr. Earhart?
Yeah, the capital reserve budget has been talked about both at Buildings and Grounds and out in Finance. We are looking at probably ending the year with about a $2 million balance in that, and that is due to some significant transfers in the past couple of years from the general fund. We are hoping to do something similar this year as well, once we kind of get the final numbers or closer to the final numbers for expenditures for the 21-22 school year. We also have a budgeted significant amount, $1 million in the 22-23 school year to transfer money into the general fund, depending on how we come out with our final numbers next year at this time. But we also have some big expenditures that are coming out this year, including the East Pike roof. We have some significant kind of upgrades to the buildings, meaning carpeting, those type of things typically come out of here. New desks that we may need across the district, some plumbing and concrete work that are happening that will kind of eat into that balance, but we have been doing an excellent job, in my opinion, of funding that and keeping a good balance in there to help pay for these projects. So.
Now, we had tentatively discussed at the last committee meeting that we'd hope to be able to move somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million since our general fund is so in such good shape into the capital reserve, but we won't know that for your benefit. We won't know that probably until about what, October?
Until about September, October, till we kind of
When the
pay
final
all of our
numbers-
payables and payrolls paid off and everything like that, so.
Sometimes these numbers can change significantly. So,
Thank you.
Okay, questions, comments on the capital budget? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Insurance renewal.
That the 8.9 insurance renewal, I move that the insurance coverage for the 2022-2023 fiscal year be approved as follows. A package policy, $122,290. Excess or the umbrella, $11,018. Commercial auto, $6,478. Errors and admissions, $15,132. Athletic, $13,320. Mine subsidence, $258. Privacy network liability, $13,948. Workers' compensation, big one, $111,946. for $294,300.
Gotcha.
Moved in second. Questions, comments on the insurance?
It did go up slightly.
It did. We did see a slight decrease in workers' comp, which is always a good thing. Our experience is improving. One of the biggest ones as a percentage that saw increase was our cyber or privacy network policy, and that's being seen across the board for all school districts. It's just, I think, with everything going on in the world right now, that's one area that insurance companies are trying to protect themselves and help make sure districts are protected as well. But it is the one that sees the biggest increase it has for the past couple of years. So,
Okay. Further questions, comments, or discussion on the insurance? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
8.10, the bond issuance. I move that based on the recommendation of the Audit and Finance Committee, the board approves the resolution authorizing the incurring of non-electoral debt by the issuance of general obligation bonds in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $12 million, covenanting to pay and pledging all available taxing power for the payment of the bonds, fixing the floor maximum interest rates with maturity, redemption, and other provisions for the payment thereof, authorizing the acceptance of one or more proposals for the purchase of the bonds, authorizing a filing of required documents with the Department of Community and Economic Development, and ratifying and directing certain actions of officers and making other covenants and provisions in respect of the bonds.
Okay. Moved in second. Questions, comments, or discussion on the issue of the bonds?
I don't think it's ever a walk in the park to consider borrowing money. We're not borrowing. This is not a resolution to borrow. This is a resolution to have our bond folks go out and search the market to see if we can come up with something we like. So we're trying to make a move while the rates are still relatively low. We feel that we need this on our deferred maintenance and to fix up the Eisenhower School and do some major projects like East Pike and everything else. But we already have a good amount saved. So this is an addition to it.
Okay.
Mr. Chris Brewer from the district's bond council is also online if the board has any questions. Or Chris, do you have any comments on this?
Good evening, everyone. I am here if you have questions and issues you'd like to discuss. The resolution that has been read, the caption of it's been read, is one that's in standard form and you've seen from our office before. It's going to authorize the indebtedness, but we've not yet sold the bonds. We have a lot more work to do, and the bonds won't be sold until we can find a good market and everything is satisfactory to your liking. As was mentioned, this is primarily for Eisenhower, but other projects can be accomplished with this money. The project description is broad enough to allow that. I think the main thing is that while we're authorizing up to $12 million, that is really for technical compliance with the Debt Act and how the department wants to see amortization structures and pro formas presented. Our expectation, as you've heard from Jamie Doyle at Public Financial Management, is that we would keep this financing this year to the $10 million size so that you could stay within the bank qualified limits under federal tax law. And so the $12 million is a not to exceed, really more of a technical nature for bond structuring purposes. But any questions you have, I'm here and happy to answer them.
Mr. Brewer, when do you think we can expect to hear back? What would you think would be the earliest date?
Well, I don't know where Jared may or may not stand with financial information reporting. I have not yet myself seen a draft of an official statement from PFM. That usually is our kickoff. Once that document gets crafted and circulated and we can schedule a rating agency call with rating agencies, then we'd be moving pretty quickly. Mr. Cronauer, I don't know if you've started any of that financial yet or if Ms. Doyle has sent you anything.
We've been going back and forth, so.
Okay.
So
Do you know anything about a rating call being scheduled?
I've not heard back from them on that yet.
Okay. Well, then I would think that we're probably a month out based on the idea that there'll probably be a couple of weeks worth of time to get the document in good order and get a rating call scheduled. The rating agencies are, I suppose, good news with this market is they're not as busy as they have been in the past sometimes. So hopefully a rating would turn around pretty quickly. And so I think it's reasonable to expect that we might be in the market within the month. Once we lock in a bond sale, the closing's a month after that, but what you're interested in, of course, is locking in a sale and nailing down some rates. We have had, I can report, in the bond market, in the tax-exempt municipal bond market, and this is not my area, I'm the lawyer, not the financial advisor, but we've seen a bit of a rally and some improvement, maybe a 30 basis point improvement in the last couple of weeks over where we had been. So let's hope it keeps up that way. Today's stock market notwithstanding.
So our next audit and finance committee meeting is,
Right now, planned for August.
that again?
It's planned for August. It would be August. We're canceling the June one, which would happen in 2 weeks, and then there are no committee meetings in July.
We can always schedule one, Julia, based on what Chris finds or actions they take. But I think the best thing to do is just wait until he gets a little closer to that, so we know, can time the meeting to be more appropriate to the actual sale of the bonds.
I was thinking we had a meeting.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. This action tonight, does complete some of the legal authorization under the Debt Act, but it is also conditioned on there being this constant communication and satisfaction of your goals, so that I'll look to PFM to tell us a little bit more about rating agencies and this bond sale date, and then we can give you that information to coordinate another committee session.
Thank you.
Okay, so questions, comments, or discussion on the bond issuance? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Down to closing. We have no discussion items at this point. Is there any public comment on agenda items? Nothing heard. We had some enclosures. We also had an executive session. Ron, would you care to cover the executive session for me tonight?
Sure, Mr. President. Executive session actually started at 6 p.m. To talk about the Eisenhower insurance litigation and also to discuss the personnel matters that were approved back on 6.5.
Okay. Our next board meeting will be a special meeting on the 27th of this month for general purposes. Our next outreach committee will be June 20th. Buildings, Grounds, and Transportation also on the 20th. Audit and Finance, as noted before, has been canceled.
Walter, before you leave, I'd like to reserve the ability for Buildings and Grounds to have meetings in July. I'm sure that's necessary.
Yes.
Yeah, we already talked about it.
I just wanted to put that on here.
Yeah, we're not scheduling, I think we'll have one board meeting in July, but we're not scheduling any committee meetings. Usually we try to take the month of July off, but with the potential bonds and all the work being done at Eisenhower in order to keep that project moving forward, we may have some additional committee meetings to deal with those issues. Okay, but stay tuned for the public notices on the website for that. Okay? All right, may I have a motion to adjourn? Those approved? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.